مشتاقة تهفو إلى لقيا الرسول.
Allah's love, Allah's mercy is, since I've come to Islam, I've recognized that before I even knew him, he knew me. Before I knew Allah, certain things happened in my life and I used to think it was me that had saved myself, or I'd got myself out of that situation, or Allah had saved me from this. From many times I'd drinking so much that I'd wake up the next morning and I'd passed out, and I'd wake up the next morning in the club on the chair. And they say, you know, you shouldn't drink like this, and etc. And I've noticed in my life, prior to me knowing Allah, that I realised now His mercy was always with me.
ادريس هزه اليوم الآخر وأيقظه من غفلة الجهل. كانت حياته عمل طوال الأسبوع، ثم خمر وسكر طوال العطلة. لا أهداف ولا معنى من الحياة حتى جاء ذلك اليوم.
I never ever heard of Allah. Never in my family, in my associates, we never heard of Muslim. And growing up, we didn't have time for what was going on around the world, because our world was going out and partying, etc. So we never paid much attention to the world stage. So for me, the name Allah was something new. One day I'm walking with my friend and we're going out to go to a club in the city centre, and he gets a phone call from his friend. He has to meet him. He's coming from London. So he says to me, he says, "Benz, my friend's coming from London. We got to meet him." I says, "Well, we're going to the pub." So we went and sat in the pub, and about half an hour his friend comes in, and the music's on loud, and he sits down and he introduces himself as Jamal. And I says, "Hi, how you doing, mate?" And carried on drinking. And about 5 minutes in, he says, "You know, I need to leave. I don't want to be here." "And why are you here? Don't you know that there's a punishment for all this, and you're going to die, and in the grave you have to answer for, and you're accountable for all your moves and your actions?" So I was listening to him, and I'm drunk. I'm drunk and I've smoked a spliff and I'm just out of it. So this guy's speaking away and the music's on, and something happened that it was as if, as I says, it was like magic. It's like the music stopped. It was on, but in my ears it had stopped. And I'd sobered up completely and I was listening directly to this guy, and something hit me. And it was as if I'd been blind all my life. And this thing came over me, like a feeling came over me. And I says, "I want to know." I says, and he says, "Well, if you die in this state, how you are," because he could see that I was drunk. He said, "If you die in this state, you're going to the hell, you're going to burn in the hellfire, you're going to be punished for the drinking." And I says, "Well, I don't want to go like this." I says, I want to become a Muslim now. So we left the club, and we got into the car, and it's funny because as I says, I walked out the doors of this club, and the air was different. The sky, which I'd seen all my life, was different. It seemed magic, it seemed majestic. I really understood the power of Allah at that moment without even knowing him. And I says, "Well, I'll do it today." And they says, "No, wait till Jummah." And I didn't know what Jummah was. I says, "Wait till Friday." So the next day was Thursday. I says, "Well, suppose I die." I said, suppose I die now, and you're telling me all these things are gonna happen to me. And he says, "No, you've made an intention. You want to be Muslim?" I says, "I want to be Muslim." And he says, "Make an intention, stop drinking, stop smoking, make your intention, and inshallah, by Friday, we'll go to the mosque, we'll embrace." So I made my intention, and I lived. And on Friday, I went to the masjid. It was a Jummah day. I didn't quite know what happened. I was quite embarrassed, actually, because the imam at that time was at Birmingham Central Mosque. And after the khutbah and they prayed, he made an announcement on the mic, and he says, "We have a new brother." And I was a bit embarrassed because I didn't know what to do, and I was just sitting at the back. So they came and brought me up to the front, and he says, "You want to embrace?" And he told me to say Shahada. He explained to me what I was saying, and I took the Shahada. And from that day, I was drinking and smoking, and that day I stopped. And I'd been drinking for 12 to 15 years prior. And I never ever thought I could stop drinking or smoking. And I stopped instantly, and I've never started. I wouldn't care how I speak and how I deal with people. Whereas Islam's taught me how to speak. It's taught me how to be clean. It's taught me how to have a wife. I never grew up with the emphasis of a wife. For me, it was instant. Everything happened in one day. I literally stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I stopped womanizing. I actually went to the mosque with the mother of my child, and we got married within 2 days. Islam completed everything, how I look, where I walk, everything.
أرواحنا مشتاقة تهفو إلى لقيا الرسول